This here is the tombstone of Henry Pujolas. Now, I doubt this name means anything to any of you. That's fair enough. Until the other day, it didn't mean anything to me as well. But this obscure figure has quite a story to tell, and indeed a much wider story about the time in which he lived. To truly understand who Henry was, I really ought to refer to him as the Right Reverend Henry Pujolas. Indeed, he was a cleric. To be more specific, an Anglican cleric. But he wasn't high ranking, far from it. He was actually a local village vicar. So you might be wondering, what's his story got to tell us about history more widely? Well, aside from the fact that he served for 60 years as the vicar of the local village of Parsondrove, this being a village in the heartland of the British Fenlands, this here was the church that he preached at, called St John the Baptist's in that same village. To be more precise, the church end of that village. He was not actually a native-born Briton. Rather, he was born in France during the 1660s, the year 1660 to be extra precise, and he was born a Huguenot. I'm sure you all know what I mean by that term, but for those of you who don't, I essentially mean a French Protestant. And when he was born, these were tolerated in France. You may know that France was a Catholic country at this time. Under King Henry IV of France in the 1590s, a certain document was passed. This was the Edict of Nantes. This retained France's Catholicism, but agreed to tolerate the Protestants. However, Louis XIV of France in the 17th century was not quite as tolerant. In 1685 he repealed the Edict of Nantes, putting French Huguenots at risk. They could now be persecuted, and so people like Pujolas left France and came to England. Pujolas finding himself in the small parish of Parsondrove. I think this represents something really quite major. It's easy for us to remember these big political moments and to accept them for what they are, but we don't always think about the aftermath, the knock-on effect that such decisions have. Through Pujolas' story, we can see how the repealing of the Edict of Nantes in 1685 had an impact that stretched to a very small, sleepy village in the English Fenlands, and this illustrates just how significant and widespread this political decision was, made by one king of France, but influencing and affecting many local communities around Europe.